Welcome to the Who, What, How podcast. This is your host, the beloved Jaraun Wright, and I am here with the outstanding, excellent, phenomenal, encouraging, philanthropist, world-changing Jaraun KTSB Wright. How are you doing, sir?
That was wonderful. I appreciate that. That was a beautiful introduction. You threw me for a loop with philanthropist, but that's a love of self. You know, philanthropist is a love of self. I do love myself. So that's the answer to your question, how I'm doing today. I love myself today.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent. So first off, this is for the viewers who haven't heard from me in weeks. Life has been hectic, and Jaraun has pulled me out of the cyclone of life. And we're in New Jersey right now. I haven't been.
Wait, hectic for you?
Oh yeah.
You've been telling me, everything's copacetic. You know, I wouldn't even know it by your visit here. You know, I would not have known that your life has been hectic.
So hectic in a sense of not being allowed or not allowing myself to be creative podcast wise.
Okay.
But still living in peace and understanding that the process is not going to always be how I need it or want it to be. And so when the first opportunity came to get back get pulled out of the cyclone, I'm like, heck yes. So now we're in New Jersey. And I am in the Black House with KTSB. And I'm excited. I'm excited to hear about you.
Can we do one of those horn things?
Hey man, listen, man. Let's get it popping in here right now, man. Let's get it popping, man. So yeah, man. So I haven't seen you in person since 2009. So there's a lot to go and unpack through. But let's kind of get started with why we're here. So, as a musician, you're about to start releasing music again.
Yeah, that's exciting.
And how did you get back to that?
In short, God.
So, what is God doing in your life to get you back there?
Connecting me with who I need to be connected with in order for that to happen. I've been not really socially active for a very long time. And I think it was because I haven't been creating. So I think God working is, connecting me with people that are going to help me get there. And I think you're one of those people. I know you're one of those people.
Yeah, I got a call.
God has shown me you are one of those people.
So let me ask you
horns
this.
for God, yeah, horns for
God. Hey. Yeah, God the Almighty. Yeah. But like did you wake up one morning and was like, I need to be around people, or like what's because God is like a processing God. Yeah. So like diamonds need pressure to shine. And so what is the pressure or some of the pressures that God has presented with you to be like, I need to shine again?
The first thing that came to mind was the world, the state of the world, like outside of the Black House. Like, as an artist, you would like for your reality to reflect like what you're intaking, right? And inside the Black House, it's calm, it's peaceful in here. Like I'm intaking everything in here, right? But when you go outside, or when I go outside, see like, wow, the world is as beautiful as it is. It's really quite complex, and a lot of people are going through a lot of things right now, and always have been. Or maybe I'm just seeing that, but I feel like I'm in a place where I can see all of the hurt and the pain and the struggles and everything that everyone's going through. And I feel like to be able to put that into words, um, from my perspective, being relatable, uh, can help people. So the only way I know how to do that is to make music, to create.
Got it. Got it. So like you're walking around, you're walking around the world seeing the weight that they're carrying, and you're like,
And I can relate.
right.
I can relate.
So what is so what when you and I think that like that's important, right? Like relatability to effort being made garners a different interaction with effort being made because it's directly tied to how you're moving about life. So when like the black plight is way more relevant to black people because we live it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what about the struggle in the world today is most standing out to you? Like what parts of it?
Everybody wants to be seen.
Mm.
And for a long time, I felt like I haven't been seen, or wasn't being seen, rather. And recently I understood that to be my ego. You know, it's not for people to see you. It's for people to see you glorify God.
Mm. Yeah. We do and that part. Like we live in a attention economy. Like everything is fighting for our attention.
Yeah.
Did you see the fight last night, or did you see the LeBron slam dunk? And as you go to open it up, your phone rings. And then you hawk on the phone. Then you hang up, and like 5 text messages come through. Then you read the text messages, and you go through those. And then Twitter gives you another alert.
Mm-hmm.
And then you look at that.
Right.
And then you get so far away from the LeBron highlight that and all of that,
you're reading a Dr. Seuss book.
and then all of that is
3
like
hours later on the toilet.
and all of that is you're just trying to get through to getting to the highlight. So you're not even giving any intentionality to what it is that you're doing.
Right.
Because you're like, I'm really just trying to do this so I can do this.
Right. Right. Right.
So you haven't felt like you've been seen in the past, I guess in the recent past, or long-term past. Have you gone back root-wise and been like, this is where this started?
I don't think so. Like from the very beginning, the root, I don't know if I could put a finger on it, you know? Like moments pop up or things happen and that'll trigger like, wait, why do I feel this way?
Mm-hmm.
You know, but I don't know if I've really explored like the root cause or the foundation.
Like when we talking about the lie, like when did the lie occur, and then when did we start building around the lie, sort of thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like when did the thing happen, and you're like, oh, I see that this way now, and like that's the way. And obviously that's more work. Like I feel like for those who have not started work on that sort of stuff, like that is a continual process, because things will happen today, and I'm like, I can't believe that happened to me. I'm going to set up everything to make sure that never happens again.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And then now that becomes the thing that I'm trying to prevent. Um, so so you want to be seen, or you're seeing people who want to be seen, and you're trying to help them through music, through the medium in which you know that you can do that. What other things in your life have kind of brought light to that particular thing, or are there other things that you are connected to from a pain perspective that's like, oh man, like it's being seen, it's this thing, it's also this thing. Are there other things?
Other things like how?
Like
Explain.
like um like one of them is like, I don't feel like I was seen.
Uh-huh.
So are there other things that like need to be like, for me, I told you earlier, we shared, and I'll share it, publicly. Like I didn't feel worthy of the things that I was receiving. So I had to like where did that start? And we kind of like walked that back a little bit. Like, oh, you grew up in East Orange, New Jersey, where like black people don't get out of there. And like you're in a spot where black people don't get out of, like, you're not worthy of this.
Mm-hmm.
And like I'm trying to figure out why I'm getting access to things that other people aren't getting access to.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not worthy of it. We come from the same place.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So a lot of my communication with people is edifying first, or confirming first that they're worthy. Because when I see that they feel that way, I'm connected to that emotion.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
So are there other emotions that you see in the world today that it's like, I got to speak to that musically?
Right now, I think, okay, thanks for clarifying that. Right now, I think it's just the being seen part, because for so long, that's what I felt. And to be able to, it's the only thing, right? And such a big body of work, from writing to thinking about it, to thinking about how to, put it out and package it, for public consumption, because it's personal stuff, right? So that's the body of work right now. I'm sure it could be other things, other emotions, but I feel like the strongest emotion right now is really, it's almost like you, like a teacher asks a question and they're looking for an answer for the students to raise their hand, and you're the student with your hand raised, and no other student is raising their hand, and the teacher's still not calling you, and you are sure you have the answer.
Got it. Got it. Okay. That makes sense. So,
like, how do you feel as a student when your teacher is what you perceive to be ignoring you?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I'm with you.
When it can be completely, totally something different. So now I'm here. I'm at a place where I can translate that into music, because I understand, like, the teacher may not really actually see you because of where they are from their perspective. They might not see you. So it's okay to feel like you're not being seen, but you are being seen because you're in the class. You're a student. You got there, right? You're there, you're in the class. Maybe the teacher just doesn't see you right now,
Yeah.
I've gotten to a point where I can tell somebody it's okay. The teacher sees you. You're in the class. You're in the group. Just, they don't see you right now. Just wait your turn. You'll be good. You'll be okay.
I got you. That makes sense. So I think the interesting part for me is that, we've been having conversations about content, and I'm like, yo, you just got to document this, because I feel like revelation is going to happen for you as you create more and more. Like, you're going to be like, daggone, this is a thing. and this is a thing, and this is a thing. And this journey is like connecting the dots to the black belt of the first degree black belt of like arrival, right? Like I literally, healing is reaching heaven to me. So like I literally have reached heaven, but now I get to experience it, right? So it's like, and documenting the steps to like walking up to the gates.
That's the dope part. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Right. And then like the teacher part of you is like helping people walk the same route.
Right.
Like, oh yeah, we're about to make this song called, Seen. And what it's like not to be seen, and that it's okay not to be seen. And once you realize that it's okay not to be seen, you'll find peace, and then you'll find heaven. Right. Like, but then in that you're gonna be like, but also this and this, and like I just can't wait to hear all the things that come from the thing that you think is the thing right now.
Right.
As you go deeper in, like, oh, that's a thing, but it's not the thing, but it's the loudest thing right now.
Right.
Or it could be the thing. I don't know. So, like I could be wrong. I just beat my brain. So, so you coming out, you're doing music. You've also had like big things happen in your life over the last few years.
Yeah.
Like milestone things happen, life-changing things happen in your life over the last few years that this is not by coincidence.
Yeah, right.
Because certain things require certain levels of elevation.
Right. Consistency and dedication.
Right. Like you got different responsibility.
Yeah.
Let's talk about those things.
Let's.
Where you want to start?
Our commonality, marriage.
We can talk about marriage. Let's talk about marriage. So
Okay.
so how's marriage been for you? What's marriage been for you?
Marriage has been amazing.
Why?
Marriage has been amazing because I have my female counterpart. Like the physical female counterpart of me walking on earth is literally upstairs right now. And I get to explore that femininity through her just by observing. I get to explore my femininity through her just by observing. I don't know a lot of other men that get to do that other than married men.
And married men don't get to do that.
Right. Well, yeah.
Like no. Let's pull up for a second. Married men don't get to do that because married men or men in general don't often feel safe being vulnerable with anybody. So marriage allows you to be vulnerable and explore things
Right.
with somebody who's like, I'm going to do this thing with you.
Right.
To the fullest. I can confirm this, y'all. Like I observe this all day. I'm like, yo, these are people who are madly in love. And it's beautiful to see. Like it's unique because it's the way that they love.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Right? Like I'm like, daggone, this is great. Like this is exactly what I thought your house would feel like, look like, experience being with your spouse would feel like, look like, and it's come to fruition. And it's better than I imagined it to be because I could not have imagined this at all. So I thought it was a thing, and it was the thing times 10.
Look at God.
Right? Like Oh my God. Like it's crazy. Like super nuts, supernatural things happening. Like what?
Yeah.
So yeah, shout out to y'all and how y'all are doing life right now. So marriage. How was the first year?
Our first, I feel, I this is first of all, can we shout out the Timeout Club because time is irrelevant. This is the first year. This is the first year. This is the first day. This is the same day we walked down the aisle.
Mm. Okay. Okay. So then how has it been?
This is a long day. It's a long day, and I've come to learn it depends on how you look at it. In the beginning of the day, I didn't really, like to wake up early in the morning, for the analogy, right? I was irked at having to brush my teeth and make breakfast, for the analogy. But then you get to lunch and you're like, okay, well, these are the things I have to do, and I'm probably gonna have to do them tomorrow. So, and I know their dinner's coming up, so let me try to ease and shift my way into a place where I'm gonna be okay at dinner time, and I'm gonna be accepting of the food that is served to me, and I'm going to enjoy it on purpose. It's marriage, like.
I don't know. I don't know because there's people that are listening who don't know,
I
or
for-
or
I-
or or like there's people who don't experience marriage the way that you do, and so as I'm speaking to you, I'm all like I love the way you just expressed it, and I'm gonna be like, now I need you to tell me the application or how it applies directly,
All right, so
because you about to save somebody, you about to save a marriage.
mm, you have to meet everybody where they are in a marriage. You have to, like, whatever your spouse brought into the marriage, you have to be willing to meet them and at least try to understand them. No matter what, you're married. You could have just been boyfriend and girlfriend if that was the case. You weren't going to do that. But now you're married, so you have to. Your life partner, your soulmate in some cases.
Life partner. Are we life partners in a marriage?
Absolutely.
Mm,
Absolutely.
how so?
You are emotionally connected to this person. You empathize with this person. You are supposed to do everything for your friend to help them get to where they need to be as an individual. You have to do that, or else they suffer. Then that means you suffer. If you genuinely care and you genuinely have empathy, if they're suffering, you're suffering, and you don't want them to suffer. Why? Because you don't want to suffer. Now you could say that's ego, right? You could say love is it is egotistical. I want to love you so that not so you could love me, but I just want to love you because it makes me feel love to love you. You know?
Right.
You have to meet the people where they are.
So how long did it take you to learn that?
So well, we've been married for almost 3 years now. Just had our second anniversary recently. Like within the last 8 months. So when you realize that, you have to, the doing part then comes after.
Right.
Right? So
Right.
yeah.
And the reason why I asked that is
Mhm.
because people are giving up after year 1
Right.
because they don't know what's coming in year 3.
Right.
Right. So like, and that's both sides of the marriage.
Mm.
And all the reason why I asked you, are we life partners, is because a lot of people don't consider that to be the thing anymore. Right. Like, but that's still the thing. The thing has always been the thing. It's
Mhm.
always going to be the thing.
Mhm.
It comes with a manual.
Right.
We just have the ability not to follow the manual.
Mhm.
Right. So the purpose of that was to then say, hey, let me look at the person that I'm dealing with and have KTSB's perspective on marriage. And maybe I'm not meeting that person where they are. Maybe I'm meeting the person who I thought they were going to be when we got married, because my expectation shifted because I thought he would change immediately when we got married. Right. And, or she, and I need to take a step back.
Right.
And you just saved their life, because I couldn't give them that, because I wouldn't have thought that.
I would hope that would save a marriage, or any people listening that is currently in question. Anyone listening that is currently in question of their situation, their relationship, their marriage. I would love for you to consider it.
And that's not just in marriage. So let's talk about that. Like, let's meet people where they are everywhere.
Right. Actually.
Everywhere, every day. Like, nobody is trying to understand or see where somebody's at. If we go back to what you're trying to push out in your music, is to be seen.
Right.
So like, I'm not even trying to see. If I'm the teacher, we're going to use that analogy again. If I'm the teacher, I'm not looking past the head. I'm not changing my perspective to see if somebody has their hand up. And you're like, if you just walk 5 inches to the left, you could see me. No, I'm standing in the perfect position. You need to get up out your seat and move. But I've been told I can't. And so now it's your fault. It's your fault. It's your fault. It's your fault. Right? So like, meeting people where they are at, convert in conversation, meeting people where they're at in economics, meeting people where they're at in education, meeting people where they're at in vocation or career. And like, what can I do for you right now? Or what can you do for me right now? And not exceeding what they can or cannot do.
But also not taking offense if they can or can't do something for you.
That part.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah. We just did that. We just unpacked a lot right there with one question. So what else? So what else about marriage? What else? What weight do you feel as a husband? Because I be feeling weight. So maybe you don't, but I be feeling weight.
What weight do I feel as a husband? In what regard?
Financially, spiritually, emotionally. Like, women be so much more emotionally equipped than men. You want me to like talk to you about?
But that's a function of society, I think.
For sure. But
our society. When I say our, I mean we're here.
Right. But I mean,
the
like,
United States right now.
But I mean, like, but it's a weight that I feel like I need to fulfill, but I don't have enough practice in sometimes.
Yeah.
Right. So like, what are some of those things where, like, as a husband now, you're like, I gotta fulfill something, but I don't have enough practice at that yet. So it's a weight. It's like going to the gym and like benching 250, and you're just lifting a bar. And I'm trying to get to 250.
Interesting. Well, I haven't had many role models to see, so I wouldn't know what it means to be like a husband.
Got it.
So maybe all the weights are of my making.
Got it. Okay.
Maybe there really are no weights, you know.
Got it. Okay. Okay. What other big thing happened?
My wife had a baby.
Oh.
Yeah. Get some horns in there too. Yeah, baby Luna.
Yes. She's adorable.
Thank you.
She has blessed me this trip in so many ways. I feel like children, babies especially, like she's young, y'all. Like they can feel energy differently because they have to utilize senses in different ways.
Right.
And she is like wanting to interact with me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, this is crazy.
Yeah.
Like, and I don't get to, like, I get to see a lot of young boys, but I don't get to see like a lot of baby girls.
Would you put this into context in 2023, Jared, especially because of what's going on in the world? Put this into context of why you get to see more young boys than you do young girls for our listeners, for your listeners out there.
Oh, because I teach martial arts?
Yes, thank you.
Well, because I teach martial arts, right? But the part is that the young men, the young boys need the most help because they have the less support. So that's really why I see more boys.
Yeah.
Like I see more boys. I have more girl students, but I see more boys because after class, I have to talk to them. I have to give them more.
Right.
I see young men.
Why do you feel that way? Or why do you feel like you have to give them more?
Because their behavior often doesn't reflect a male role model in their life, and their interaction with me is different because I might be the only male role model in their life. So like a lot of the women are like, oh, like I love mommy, I see mommy, and like you're just some cool dude that gets to come over and like kick for a couple days. Where I, as a guy, as a young boy or young man, like I love mommy, I see mommy, but she can't speak to certain things that I'm going through because she hasn't gone through them. Similar to you're gonna have that conversation with her in 10 years, not me. At the dinner table a couple hours ago.
Yeah,
Christina. Right.
Right.
And so I gotta step in the gap.
Yeah.
I gotta step in the gap. Do you know who you are? You are a king. Do you know what you're capable of? Do you know how important your presence is? Just your presence. You don't have to do anything. You just have to be here. Do you know how different the room is when dad is in the room versus when he's not in the room? Dad could be reading a book.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Like that,
Absolutely.
like and we don't hear that, so we don't know that. And so when there's somebody inviting us somewhere, we don't understand the value of our presence there. I can speak to that though. So go to the thing, because when you walk in as a man, it's going to be different.
Right.
Drastically. So, so when I get to interact with Luna, and Luna's like, oh my gosh, he's great. He's like not my dad, but he's like cool. I'm like, she's not even 2.
Yeah.
This is, first of all, the fact that a not even 2-year-old person thinks I'm cool is like wild, because I'm the the most. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm only cool when I put the uniform on.
Right.
I'm Clark Kent everywhere else.
Yeah.
So it's been crazy. So, and then like her interaction, like I'm like, she's 2? Not even. This woman is speaking full-blown sentences.
Child.
And
Child. This child.
like, this is crazy, bro. Like, this little person is like, wow. And so
Yeah, man, we're blessed.
and what that is though, so you don't duplicate what you say, you duplicate who you are. And so that's you and your wife today.
Right. Right. Right.
All of it though.
The image, yes. Yeah.
No, all of it.
Yeah,
so like
yeah.
even the parts you don't like, that's y'all too.
And that's the part, you know. That's why you gotta meet your person. You gotta meet them.
Yeah.
Because then you get to create beautiful things like that.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah. So how has that changed you being a dad?
It's phenomenal. I get to see myself as a child. You know? At the same time, I get to experience another human that is my kin, that's close to me. Like that. I get to experience their experience, you know?
Yeah.
And be a sounding board for them in the future. You know, a collector of memories. You know, I remember it this way. We're talking about perspectives. You know, we were at the park today, right? She just hit her lip on the slide. But what'd she do? I remember when you tried hard to climb up it. And then you went up the big slide. You know? I don't remember it that way. Well, look, there was a bunch of kids running around the playground, you know? And then you wanted to go back on the slide, but it started raining. And we had to go take a bath, you know? Maybe that's a motivational talk for her in the future when she's in astronaut school or something.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Or when she's not feeling strong on anything.
Right.
Do you remember that time you can do this? Because you remember that time when you did.
Yeah.
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 You know? What else, man? Like girl dad. Like, you're a girl dad, bro.
Yeah.
Like, I'm a boy dad. Thank God.
Yeah, how's that? What's that about?
Thank you, God, for making me a boy dad. Like, I was like, it's like I'm Superman every day.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he be staring at my face. I'll be like, yo, Jay, stop looking at me, bro. Like, he's my shadow. Like, everywhere I go, he's there.
Yeah.
Like, he's there with me. I'll be like, yo, you got to get off my head, bro. You got to fall back a little bit. But it reveals the parts that I like about myself and the parts that I don't like about myself. Because he is very responsive to me. And so if I'm acting away, if I'm upset or frustrated, he'll be like, Daddy's frustrated. And I'm like, ooh, I don't like that. I don't like that you know that. And I don't even know if I'm frustrated. I just don't know how to express myself outside of being frustrated. But that's not an emotion, that's a response. So then I had to like unpack, like, is anger an emotion or is it a response? And it's a response. It's not an emotion. You're not angry. You're frustrated. And now you're responding this way because you're letting somebody know that you're frustrated or you're upset or irritated or whatever. And they're not acknowledging you. Hey, man, you stepping on my foot. Hey, bro, can you get off my foot?
Mm.
Hey, bro, get off my foot, bruh.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why aren't you moving?
Mm-hmm.
Are you angry? No, I'm irritated because I asked you 3 times to get off my foot.
Right.
Or now I'm angry because you didn't, but I'm still not angry. I'm just irritated. Jared, stop allowing yourself to get angry. Control yourself.
Mm.
You're a 2nd-degree black belt. Control yourself.
Yeah. So how does that dichotomy work for you? Knowing that.
I put myself in timeout.
Mm.
Timeout. Timeout. So I put myself in timeout. Let me clarify. Timeout is not for the child.
I don't believe so either.
It is for the parent.
Timeout.
When you put your child in timeout, it is for both of you.
Do you put your child in timeout? Jay. My fault.
It's okay. No, it's fine. No, it's fine.
Yeah,
That's
we're
fine.
not live.
No, it's fine. It's Jay. It's Jay. If you follow me, you know Jay. Jay gets way more likes than I do on my profile when I post him. I don't know. No, I put myself in timeout because it goes back to the conversation that we had earlier. Jerry, you have to manage your expectations.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he is a child.
Yeah.
Why are you spazzing because he spilled water on the table?
Right.
Like, he's supposed to spill water on the table. He's 10, he's 8, he's 6.
Yeah.
Like, why are you popping his hand?
Mm.
He's a child, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you're popping in his hand because you're frustrated because you knew this was going to happen and you told him 17 times not to do it, and now he did it, and he needs to learn his lesson. He's already learned the lesson because he sees the water on the table. That's how you know. Not because your hand was popped.
As a parent, I sometimes think the child drops the water because I thought that they would, because I did. Like, we don't even give them the chance to not drop the water.
Right.
Right.
Right. Until it's too late, and now you're like, I can't believe you're 12 dropping water.
Yeah, that part. Yeah, right.
Right?
Right.
So, like, what I've learned as a dad over the years is to, like, just let the child be the child and me guide the way of the child.
Right.
Jay, you're going to go to church every Sunday. What you get from that, I'm not trying to determine.
Mm.
Because you're going to enjoy things about church that I never enjoyed.
We just talked about church and Luna in church.
I'm here for the music. Oh, yeah. He might be here for the word.
Right.
And I'm like, Jay, did you hear the song? Did you hear the song? Every week, did you hear the song? Did you hear the song?
Yeah.
Praise and worship was crazy. Praise and worship was crazy. And now he's like, oh, that's what it's about.
Mm.
No, that's what it's about for me. It could be the altar call. Oh, man, it was 15 people that moved and got called to God today. That was crazy, Dad. And I'm like, But did you hear the reverb? Right? You have to go to church, Jay, because I'm going to guide your steps, but I'm going to guide your steps. Where you decide to step or how you decide to step. That's probably important. That's probably the thing. How you decide to step is totally up to you.
Right.
So if you want to crawl, you can crawl. If you want to roll, you can roll. If you want to sprint, you can sprint. If you want to walk, you can walk. I'm just going to continue to hit you this way, hit you that way. So because boys are like, we going to play in dirt and like eat it and like, and we're going to break stuff and we're going to crash cars and we're going to play video games and you're not going to win for the first 15 years of your life. And then I'm not going to win for the next 15 years because you're going to get better than me. And you've been playing against me your whole life. Period. right? Like I'm gonna pass that torch, and then it's gonna be the next thing that I'm gonna be beating you at until you get to a place where that's where you're beating me at, and then it's gonna get to a place where all of the things switch, and I'm not beating you at anything, and you have to take care of me.
That adversarial relationship, is that indicative of you and your son, or a father and a son in general?
I think,
Or males, or yes,
I think so the adversarial portion of it is the healthy masculinity of doing, because masculinity is what you do.
Mm.
So like if you think about men and how we discuss things, oh, I do that better than you. Oh, I can race you and beat you. You saw that earlier. Right. I run faster than you. I can record this rap. I'm about to spit a better verse than you. Whatever the case may be. Oh, if we want to really get ignorant, oh, he don't do it how I do it, right? Like that's male masculinity.
Yeah.
So he needs that, but he also needs to, hey Jay, do you know who you are? So we do words of affirmation every night. Jay, you are not your mistakes that you made today. You are a good boy. And I need you to repeat it. I am a good boy. Jay, you are righteous. I am righteous. Jay, you are loved. I am loved. Jay, you are chosen. I am chosen. Jay, you are fantastic. I am fantastic. Jay, you are a child of God. I am a child of God. Jay, who's your Lord and Savior? Jesus Christ. Every day. I'm going to tell you who you are. Because I was told who you are. And I need you to know that. Because the world's job is to take that from you. So like understanding love language and how men need certain things,
right,
versus women,
right,
is how I love Jay. Probably differently than how I would love a daughter.
right.
I know that he needs to hear those things because the world is not programmed to tell him those things.
Right.
So I'm going to tell you every day, and I'm going to change it up. It's going to be relevant to the day. You struggled in Taekwondo, and you're still good in Taekwondo.
Yeah, right.
Right. So I think that understanding love languages, what people in general, and understanding patterns, male behavior versus female behavior, or woman behavior versus man behavior, and seeing how we respond to it is how I've changed as a dad for a son. Then it's going to be different than how you father your daughter, I could imagine.
Right. Speaking of, I would like to tell her goodnight and take a bathroom break. And I think that people should hear that. You should make time for your family. It's such a beautiful occasion. My buddy has been here for close to, 50 hours now, maybe, something like that, not even, I would say. And we've had a beautiful time with our family together. And that is the most important thing. Your family, the people around you, your friends, the people that make you who you are. And with that, I don't mean to bogart your podcast.
You did though. It's okay.
I did.
It's okay. It's all right. He just put a we need to build in commercial breaks.
I did. Wait, look, there you go. Look,
coming live from the Cupertino, California, we have the Beats.
Oh my gosh.
We'll be back in a second, y'all. Oh.
Y'all can't see me, but I'm funny. I'm trying to play like I'm not who I am on podcast. If this wasn't Jared's podcast, y'all will see me in a bunch of tangents, connecting everything back to music and the ability to create and working through God through that. So yeah.
So let's talk about it.
Okay. Yeah.
Like let's talk about the tangents. Where do the tangents begin for you?
I think going back to what we were talking about earlier in our conversation, and just like always looking for outs, like being in survivor mode, right? So you have to think about everything. And earlier at lunch we were talking, or breakfast rather, we were talking about me over analyzing. Like that, I know that's my thing. Like just being super neurotic and over analyzing everything. Sometimes it just is what it is, Jaraun. Sometimes it's just not anything other than what is in front of you. And to be comfortable with that, and not have to be in survivor mode. Not have to look for outs, and accepting the moment.
Right. Yeah. And like as we talk about analysis and like you overanalyze and everything, like do you live in a space where like you have analysis paralysis?
I used to. That's exactly the term, Mass Azabeth. Like that, analysis paralysis. Yeah, absolutely. That was one of my things. Like I just wouldn't. So right, that's what led us here. I couldn't create because I was over analytical of what was going on in the outside world. I was letting it affect me to a point where I could not create. I was paralyzed. I could not create. I'm a writer by nature, so I always, would write in at least my head in the background. But as far as like recording, and it's just not happening. It just wasn't happening because I was over analytical of everything outside of what I was meant to be doing.
Yeah.
And paralyzed because of it, because it was so overwhelming.
Fight, flight, or freeze.
Yeah.
People forget the freeze part. Like, oh, you got this fight or flight thing. No, I'm just literally just not moving. Like fear will just freeze you.
Yeah.
And it'll make you have flight when a cop says freeze. like it's so crazy living is just so wild.
For the fact that we're here, it's wild. The fact we're even here is wild. Like being born, like that's wild. What did Neil deGrasse Tyson say? Some crazy like there's more people that could have been born that weren't than there have ever been born.
Yeah.
Like, you know how many people? There's 8 billion people on the planet now. So imagine that exponentially, right? And you're here? No way, bro. How? Who? What? How?
Who, what, how? Who, what, how? That's the podcast we're listening to right now. Brought to you by Jared Wright. By way of 153 Pod Street. Like, yeah. So as you're going through the journey of creation, what type of music are you wishing or wanting to create? Like what can we expect from you?
We can expect something that is going to move you. In short, it's going to move you. So in this time of like not creating, I really haven't been listening to a lot of other music. Like a lot of the OGs in hip hop are like, they're not motivated really by what's going on in hip hop, but they understand it. They're not motivated by it. That's what I want to do. I want to motivate. I want to move. I want to move people for real. You know, not to say that none of the music isn't motivational that has been coming out since I've been serious about making music. It just hasn't moved me. And it's reflective of the culture. It hasn't moved the OGs. So what does that say? It's not going to move nobody in the future. And for me, hip hop is life. Like, so
Let's talk about it.
I don't want to like have that go away.
So hip hop, for the people who participate in hip hop, the verb, what is hip hop, the noun?
What is hip hop? The noun?
The noun.
A noun is a person, place, or thing, right?
Right.
So then KR said it perfectly. Hip hop is intelligent movement. You're hip. You're in the know. You're intelligent, rather, not wise. Wisdom comes from the application of knowledge. To hop is to move. So when you do hip hop over dope instrumentation, you move intelligently through space and time. Beats are timed on the 4. Hip hop is moving on the 1, 2, 3, 4. Intelligent movement through space and time. That's what hip hop is. So going back to the outs, how do I move intelligently through this space and get to a place where I can get out if I had to? Why do you have to get out? Where are you? Where is the space that you feel like you're in that you have to get out of? Why are you in something? You know?
Why are you, even greater, why are you planning for the shoe to drop? Like immediately. Seriously.
Yeah.
And that's not just you. Like we live in a society where it's like imposter syndrome or this or that or this or that. And what if and it's like what if this happens? What if that happens? What if this, you know what I mean? And it's never like, what if I kill it? I think we're scared of the what if negative and we're scared of the what if positive.
Right.
Like, what if this goes and we have 1 million followers and 1 million views and da 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 da? Like, I don't really want that.
And they're both
tomorrow.
Both the unknown.
Right. And I don't want it.
It's the fear of the unknown. That's the real.
Right.
Thing. That's the real thing.
Right. But it's all unknown.
Yeah, exactly. So what are you afraid of? Right. Yeah. So what are you afraid of?
So it takes me back to what we were talking about earlier with martial arts. You're afraid to get kicked until you get kicked and you realize it don't hurt that bad.
Right. You're already in the arena. You know you're gonna get kicked.
But I thought this was gonna hurt way more.
Right.
So like I can't get kicked because if I get kicked, I'm gonna get knocked out. And then I get kicked, and you don't get knocked out. You're like, that wasn't even that bad. I'm not even bleeding. The nerves, the prep, the this, the that, the planning, the all of that stuff is like, for this kick?
And are you thinking you're going to get knocked out because you've been knocked out or because you've heard that someone's been knocked out?
Right.
Right.
Right. Like that.
Mm.
So, yeah.
Right.
Oh, and like, what if I win is not even a part of the conversation
Right.
because I'm so worried about
Getting knocked out.
How much this is going to hurt.
Right.
I'm so worried about the pain that I'm not thinking about the prestige.
Mm. I'm going to hit the horizontal. Say that again.
Like, I'm so worried about the pain that I'm not thinking about the prestige.
Right.
And I think that is what is crippling people because we live in a society where everything gets documented and shared. And now the world gets to see the pain that I'm in.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that gets way more attention than when I have the prestige.
Mm-hmm. So maybe the world is empathetic in this sense then. They want to see people's pain.
For sure.
For better or worse, they want to see it. You know, for whatever it does for them. For whatever it does for them.
Right.
You know what you did.
I mean, the news shows you bad news. It doesn't show you good news.
Yeah.
Because,
rarely.
like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, oh, yeah, 55 minutes of this broadcast has been brought to you by pain. And then the last 5 minutes of this broadcast is brought to you by prestige. Thank you so much for watching. You guys have a wonderful evening, and we will see you tomorrow where we will find more pain.
Oh, my gosh. It's so true. It's so true. Oh, my gosh. It's hilarious.
And then we were talking about COVID, and I remember we were going through COVID, right? And like my wife and I are talking, and she's like, you know, I don't know if the world's ever going to get back to us. And I shout out my wife, by the way.
Yeah.
Shout out to both wives.
Shout out to wives.
Yeah,
Shout out to
man.
wives.
Hey, man. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. But like we were talking about COVID, and we were talking about how people are never going to leave the house again, and everybody's going to wear masks forever, right? And I was trying to explain to her, like, yo, this is the first thing in human history where we've tracked daily the deaths of something.
Yeah.
And shared it.
That we know of. Yeah.
Like, if you shared how many people got in car accidents today, y'all would never drive.
Right.
Ever.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not what's being broadcasted. Because
Right.
we need y'all to drive.
Right.
Because we need to make this money.
Mm-hmm.
So if you showing people, listen, let me tell you something right now. If you showing people how many people dying every day in a car accident, ain't nobody getting it. We ain't selling cars. We ain't selling car insurance. We ain't selling car registrations. We ain't selling none of that stuff.
Shout out to registrations. Put some
Yeah, man. You know, I said that on purpose. You know what I'm saying? Inside joke. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're not getting that.
Yeah.
So we're not getting that.
Yeah.
But this COVID thing, no, y'all about to be like in the house.
Mm.
Until we don't want y'all in the house anymore. You know what we're going to do? We're going to magically stop sharing the number every day.
Mm.
And then you're not going to think about it anymore.
Mm. Oh, wow. I didn't even look at it from that way. Yeah, they did. You don't see them. You don't see it no more.
No.
Wow.
Everybody's back outside.
Yeah, it's not a thing no more.
Exactly.
Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah.
It might sound satirical because it kind of is. Not kind of is. It is. But for reference, we have had family members that have passed from COVID. So may they rest in power.
For sure. For sure. Like, but like that's what's happening.
Yeah. It's all propaganda.
That's what's happening.
Yeah.
So you're about to come in and disrupt everything.
Yeah, that's the goal.
Like, we're going to move people to positivity.
Yeah.
Or redemption.
Right.
Or overcoming. Like, I'm going to move you and show you how to move in the current state of the world.
Right.
I think is what KTSB is about to do.
That's why I would love to have a conversation with Kanye again. Because I think, what did I say? He wants to be seen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I have graduation right there in the control room signed by him. So it would be effectively the third time I would see him. I already rapped for him. He already said I was dope.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's just another person that, you know, sharing audiences is a lot about what's going on in the creator world right now. Right? Because we have this we have material, Jared. We have this material.
Yeah.
We just don't have the audience. Right?
Yeah.
So you get an audience of a KRS-One, you get an audience of a Kanye, you know, listening to KTSB. It's like, whoa, wait, what? We're cut from the same cloth. Hip hop.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
And the plight hasn't changed much. Because humanity is humanity is humanity.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's certain things.
Shout out to humanity.
Yes.
Shout out to humanity.
Like humanity is humanity is humanity. So like the things that you need at 37, he needs at 47. KRS needs at 67,
right.
57, however old he is.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like these things aren't.
We can Google that right now, actually.
Like these things are like true things that men need. So you being able to speak to Kanye about that, you be able to express that, or like help him understand that.
Like how he helped me.
Right. Like,
yeah.
Like exactly.
Yeah.
Like that's the part.
Right.
That's the part. Like go through this process, go through this journey with me, because as you're going through this process with me, you're going to experience something with me that I didn't experience.
Right.
But it wasn't intended for me to experience it. It was intended for you to experience it. It was just intended for me to share my experience.
Right. And there you go.
Yeah.
On your way.
Yeah. And now you're moved.
Mm-hmm.
And now your goal is to go move someone else.
Right.
But not the way that I do it, the way that you do it.
Right.
Because I can't rap, y'all. I mean,
that's a lie.
I don't rap, y'all.
That's the truth.
I got a couple other questions for you, just a few more.
Yeah.
So who are you?
I'm Sandy's son. That was the first thing that came to my head.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you want to be remembered for?
Ooh. Luna was the first thing that came to my head.
How are you going to execute what you want to be remembered for?
I'm going to love my wife and my daughter according to the will of God. I don't freestyle, by the way. It's a very difficult part of the art form that I'm not good at, only because I haven't flexed those muscles over instrumentation. But in real life, in conversations like this, those words I don't think about. They just come out that way. For reference, he hasn't asked me these questions in the day and a half, 2 days he's been here.
Purposely.
Right.
Jaraun.
Sir.
I love you.
I love you.
This has been fantastic.
It has been.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for today, man. No! Thank God for editing.
Thank God for editing.
Yeah, this is brilliant.
Yeah.
We gotta do this again.
Absolutely.
I need a track suggestion for the audience from you.
Mass Pandemonium.
By
KTSB on Apple Music.
You hear it here first. Are we trying to figure out how old this man is? Still? Anybody? Hold on. Hey Siri. How old is K? Hold on. Hey Siri. How old is KRS-One? Oh my gosh. Hey Siri. Hey Siri. How old is KRS-One?
KRS-One is 57 years old.
Wow.
And that's
Look at God.
And that's the show. Y'all, love y'all. Peace out.